And you're live.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are. But in California, it's early. I'm nocashnocash. Hello. This is my good friend Vuligin. He'll be running a little bit later. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into the game. There's a ton of stuff to talk about with this game, and especially the category that we're doing. So we're going to jump into it. The opening cutscene is pretty long. It's about 7 minutes, so it'll give us plenty of time to jump into it. So I'll say start the timer. I'll give you a countdown from 3, 2, 1.
Absolutely.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So this is Final Fantasy IV for the Super Nintendo. It's Final Fantasy II in the U.S. A lot of fun things about this game. It is definitely a Super Nintendo RPG classic. But we're doing the any percent category. Let's see, with no credit warps. And that was one of the things I wanted to talk about initially. Is recently there was a guy named myself086 who figured out how to do a credits warp in this run. To do the credits warp and the glitch that I'll be doing in this game, you have to use the 64 floor glitch, which can only be activated in the underworld. So once you get to the dwarf castle, about 2/3, halfway through the game, you can activate that glitch and do a lot of crazy things. I debated on doing that credits warp run for this, but unfortunately there's a chance of the game crashing. And for a marathon, it's definitely not safe yet. So what I'll be doing is something a little similar. It's been the most popular run. I wouldn't say most popular, but I would definitely say the most interesting run in this game is any percent no credits warp, where we're going to be doing the glitch and getting a crazy spell at the end in order to kill the boss. So it uses the memory to corrupt the game, and we're going to use the inventory in the menuing and in battles to manipulate the menu and actually use those item slots in the inventory to warp to certain areas that we want to go. By doing that, we're able to skip like a whole third of the game and thus beating the game around 2 hours. I'll get the shoutouts out of the way and then go over a few mechanics. Myself086 was a big founder of the step route, as well as the Roth, and with the help with Exodin and Nirm. They're all great people and a part of the FF4 community, so shoutouts to them. They've been contributing to this game since day one, since it started being optimized aggressively. The Roth is the current world record holder for the category that you'll be seeing. It's actually sub 2 hours. It's in the 156 range, I think, now. Possibly low 157. I can't remember. And then you have your usual suspects up top. I have a 2 hour time. 2 hours and 21 seconds is my PB, and that's good enough for 4th place as of right now. I also did the full game run we call No 64, and that one I did that at AGDQ, and in that time the Roth also has the world record in. So this is it. The storyline goes Cecil and Kane are in Baron, and they go see the king. The king's acting a little weird, gives them a package and asks them to go do some crazy things. So the best fun fact about this game, that my favorite one, is that once upon a time, Vuligin did this run one time. That's actually the best part about the entire game. You can't deny it, Vuligin. You did play through it once. Yeah, we have to have some fun. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is usually what happens is this mechanic we call the step route, and that was new in the past year or so, where the main thing that slows this game down is encounters. Once you get your boss fights down, your menuing down, and you're really optimized in those settings, the battles, one person will get more than the other. Those tend to slow people down. So what myself 086 worked on was a step route in order to eliminate encounters, thus making the game faster. And what that's based off of is when you hit A, or once you hit select A on the start screen, the screen is rotating through frames, 0 through 255. There's 256 frames it's going through, and whatever frame you hit A on, that locks you into that frame for when you start the game. And when you start the game, you'll be on that frame, and we'll call that a seed. So if I hit seed 92, then you're going to have a certain amount of encounters in certain areas, and you can figure that out by having by seeing how many encounters you get in that area, and that will determine what seed you're on. And then by knowing what seed you're on, you effectively could take steps in areas where you're not getting encounters, but will actually increase your step counter. For example, here in Baron, exactly where he's walking now is increasing the step counter. Will help you avoid battles. And so, in theory, what we try to do is manipulate the start of the game by doing some pre-manipulation and loading the frame on seed 92, and that will actually give us 0 encounters to the Mist Dragon. Unfortunately, during setup, some things were going awry and all my save files got erased. So that's a thing that happens in Final Fantasy IV. And of course, right before a marathon, it's kind of tough. You have to play through the whole game and get to the part where we're playing now, and set up a save file, and to use that save file in a glitched room to help you do your pregame manipulation. So unfortunately, we will be getting encounters before Mist Dragon. It's not a big deal. It's only a few here and there. And what we wanted to do is avoid them as much as possible throughout the entire run, but we will not be doing that today. So we will not be showing off the step route. That's also because it's pretty execution heavy. I did do it at my last marathon at AGDQ, but you usually need a laptop and you need to be able to have a spreadsheet of all the encounters and where to take steps, etc. And I don't own a laptop. That's another fun fact. So I'm not able to do the step route as well, and that's okay. The average step route can save 1 to 2 minutes on any percent run up against no step route, but of course it can fluctuate via back attacks and things like that. So if you're getting a ton of back attacks and not using a step route, then your time can be much longer, 5-6 minutes. Yeah, so usually we get 0 encounters to Mist, but we might get a couple here and there, and that's okay. In a marathon setting, doing the step route and getting all that, it's not gonna. That would ruin my step route right there anyway. Well, not necessarily. I'm gonna do a reset. So this is what we want to avoid. We didn't want to get any encounters, but because we didn't do the pregame manipulation, we will be getting a few. Ideally, you want to beat Mist Dragon around the 10-minute mark, and we'll probably be beating him closer to the 11 mark because of encounters. 3 encounters before kind of sucks. But we'll see. We're going to do a reset anyway at after the boss, and that will change our encounter because you're doing our step route or encounter because you're going to be doing a reset and loading on a different frame. So There's a lot of cool techs. In this fight particularly, it's really easy. There's nothing crazy to worry about here. You do have to have decent inputs. I already messed up that input, but that's okay. We're still at the right time. You have to make sure that your timing is accurate. If you screw up the timing, then you won't get enough attacks in, and then he can do another cycle. But fortunately, we got about 7 attacks in, and we're good. So I'm gonna listen to the audio here, and then time Kane's jump. Right on the high note. And what we did there was a quick, we did a duplication glitch there actually. We actually have low damage as well. So we'll have to jump again. Yeah, that's not good. Just time wasting because of low damage. Should be dead already if it had some decent damage. Wow, hope he doesn't turn back to Mystic Man. That's good. So nothing to worry about in that fight. Low damage can really slow you down. And we're going to do a glitch here. I am going to safety save just in case. Usually it's a really easy glitch, but I could get an encounter because I'm not on step route and I don't want to screw anything up. If I took extra steps or anything, it'd be lame. But we're actually doing a glitch here, and I'll explain in a second. So we're resetting here. What we did was we shifted the map so that I could do this, which is another sweet mechanic and actually changes a lot about the game at the start. And by doing the duplication glitch in Mist Dragon, we were able to do this and get 6 million GP, money, whatever money form of letters in this Final Fantasy, we got that 6 million of it. So what we did was we did a duplication glitch that we were able to duplicate Cecil's armor, or his shield, which we don't need, and sell an empty slot of it for 6 million. And then go through the other side of Mist, buy 10 Dancing Daggers. Dancing Dagger is an overpowered item that you don't need till later in the game, but we're going to get it at the start, of course. And we also got the Change Rod, which is a high-powered magic item, and the Tiara, which is a high defense item for Rydia, because as you know, we're going to destroy her village and kidnap her. So we want to protect her. I do have notes because this route specifically requires your inventory to be in a certain order, so that's what I'll be looking at throughout the game. And at any time, I'm going to try to organize my inventory during times that aren't going to slow the game down in order to optimize my time. So this is Rydia in the town of Mist. We burn it down. And yeah, we get destroyed and then that's where we go. So this, you can do anything you want here in the menu while actions are happening. If you are in your menu when nothing is happening, then nothing happens. It just sits there. It's kind of like the wait trick in FF6, kind of. But yeah. So we're gonna head over to Kaipo, and we're gonna go get Tella after we see Rosa, and we'll go over some menuing tech as well. One of the bummers in this game that can slow things down quite a bit is is something we call back attacks or surprise attacks. It's a huge bummer. We're gonna hope that we don't get a lot of them, but oh dang, what step was that? 27? That's like a little bit higher than 43. It's like in the low 50s. So when you do your reset there, that's where you're going to find your seed actually, is by knowing what step you got your encounter on. And I noticed that was step 27. I don't have any notes, but to get seed 43, which is the most optimal seed for any run, you have to get an encounter on step 26, and then one more after that, somewhere like at 47, and that's it. But we got one on 27. So that's pretty darn close. I wasn't even trying, it was just luck. But in this sense, what I would do is I would look at my notes and see where to take extra steps and how many steps to take to avoid encounters. If you don't have notes and know where to take steps, it's pointless really to do anything, because if you're trying to avoid encounters by taking extra steps, you could actually increase your encounters, which is silly. There's another tech here I could have done. I should have done it now that I got the worst luck. It's called the can't run buffer strat. I'll show it off in Fabul. But at the guard fight there, it's faster without the run buffers if you get the best luck, which is just holding A and killing all the guards before one of them attacks. In this case, I only killed one, then two attacked. And then so it just took a little bit longer. It's just a few seconds difference here and there, which is why I didn't do anything. So we're gonna go visit Rosa and find out she's sick, and we're gonna go try and cure her by running some errands. And we're going to use a menu tech here called plinking that the LCC brought to Final Fantasy IV, and I like to try and do this one accurately, but of course I'm gonna mess it up. Yeah, so I just what you do there is you're going to want to hit down and Y in succession, and it'll actually create. It's like a two for one input, and you'll see that the cursor moved a little bit faster than if I just held down and tried to select it as fast as I could. And if you do that frequently in your inventory, it's gonna drastically improve your time. Not something you have to worry about, well, if you're just learning the game, but it's definitely a cool tech. And doing it successfully, it definitely increases your menu speed. But doing it unsuccessfully, like I did, I did a couple of good ones, and I stuttered during the formation change. But that's gonna happen occasionally. Yeah. So that's it. What else to talk about? I have no idea.
Do we have time to read a donation?
Oh, yes, of course. Please interrupt. I just usually babble away, so please help yourself.
We have a $3.31 donation from Ghost King G1.
Hey, Ghost
He
King.
says, here's some cash. Now your name is Some Cash. Kappa. Sad to see this so late that I can't watch it all. Shoutouts to Nocash and Vulagine. You guys are troopers.
Thanks, Ghost King. Ghost King is a really cool guy who's going to be doing, he's going to be running at RPG Limit Break, I believe, the East Origins game. So shout out to him. Thanks for the donation for a great cause. But he did lie. Religion and I are not great guys. I mean, okay, Religion isn't a great guy. I'm a great guy. That's fine. But thanks for staying up so late, Ghost King. Get some sleep and enjoy your Easter Sunday, if that's what you do. So we got our first surprise attack, and as you saw, they just last a little bit longer. When you get a surprise attack or a back attack, all the enemies get to attack you, and that can hurt you in multiple ways. The biggest one is time. There's not really any threats later in the game there's some areas that can kill you definitely, but early in the game, there's a few areas where after the first boss, if Rydia gets her butt kicked in an actual attempt, if she died, it'd be a reset for anyone looking for world record attempts, because you'd have to get a life item and actually go in the menu and heal her so that she gets experience in battles so she can survive for later battles, or you're too late and she gets killed after the life chest that you can get. So yeah, she's the only one you don't want taking damage, and of course she's taking damage. That's just the way the game works. But as you can tell, she's in the back row, so she takes less damage, and she also has a tiara on, so that means most hits from enemies are going to do 1 damage. Octomammoth can do anywhere from 1 to 18 damage on Rydia, and so she has 28. So she can get 2 times hit and die, and she's actually your main damage dealer in the first few fights because she can equip the dancing dagger that we got back in Mist. If you do get the best seed, seed 43, this is an area where you can take extra steps. It's called the Waterfalls area. That little ledge there when you first walk in actually increases your step counter, but you don't actually get encounters there. So the best way to explain it is you could take 1,000,000 steps there if you wanted to and never get an encounter. And the way the game works is that you'll actually get anywhere from 7 to 10 encounters depending on the area you are in the game. So in front of Baron, that area gets 8 encounters every 256 steps. And then there's many examples that I don't have memorized exactly how many encounters you get in certain areas, but you could take 1,000,000 steps there and it wouldn't change a thing. You wouldn't get an encounter, but it would still increase your step counter. Alright, so the idea behind this boss is to slow him down and kind of stay alive simultaneously. So what happens is every 2 hits he loses a tentacle. You want Rydia to do in the 200s, which is solid, and you're gonna want Cecil to do in the hundreds, which you usually do. If Tella does anywhere near those last 2 damage, 95 and 105, that's a bonus. That's great. I'm doing a plinking command here as well, hitting AX and R in succession to allow her to attack faster, just to get through the menu faster. Memorizing turn orders is great here. And what I'm doing now is that Tella's pretty useless. His lightning command is a really long cast. It's actually more beneficial to stop him so that he doesn't do anything, and that Cecil and Rydia get more turns. The bad news for that one is Octomammoth will also get more turns. I wasn't able to do my item moving here because I think I was too fast. Usually Octomammoth gets another attack and then allows Cecil to get his turn in. And we're actually going to do something a little slower here once I get Tella's turn back, because we're going to make sure it's a marathon. We're going to do an item duplication. I could have attacked again, but if I kill him pretty quickly because I was doing pretty good damage, I can't miss the opportunity to do a duplication here. Okay, so I probably could have done... I could have done it right there, actually. That would have been... That's too risky, pretty close. So, the reason why we did that duplication there is because Tella can dupe the change rod, and in this inventory, you have to have 114 chains rods in a certain slot. And so, as most of you know, the game maxes out. Let's see this one here, this one here, this here. At 99 per item slot. So what we actually did there is we duped a slot, Tella's hand, and unequipped and equipped the item over and over again, so that we have it picks up 255 change rods in the menu. I think it's a much higher number, but since it's so high, the game only reads the last 3 digits. So in essence, we have 255 change rods, and so later we're gonna equip one and then sell like 140 of them, so that way it equals 114 that we need. And it happens to need to be in the 4th item on the 4th slot on the left side in the inventory, which is pretty wacky, but it works. This is everyone's favorite cutscene with that line, "You spoony bard," and that's thanks to a poor translation from Japanese to English. It's a great I don't know what I was thinking. The best translation. In fact, that's kind of, you know, an iconic moment in this game for sure.
Have you know that spoony is the perfect word for that situation, damn it.
It's true. Edward is truly a spoony bard, and you'll find out much later in the game how spoony this guy can be. He's actually pretty baller at the start of the game because he also equips the dancing dagger, which allows us to get through the game pretty quickly. At the beginning of the game, much faster. You'll see that in the next boss, but after that, it kind of sucks. I mean, he's kind of spoony. So we went to Damsian, because that's just the next castle in the way, and then it got attacked by the Baron airships, the Red Wings, because, you know, the King of Baron was going cray-cray, and that's the next thing he did. So we went in there, and Edward's lady friend got shot by an arrow or something. And then, so Edward's gonna come with us. Anna is Edward's lady friend, and that's also Tella's daughter. So he got angry and left. One of the common things I think people do in the casual playthrough is to unequip characters before they leave, if they play it again or if they don't know. And you know, Tella left with the change rod on, but we have like a million of those, so we're good. So another thing that we don't do in this game is unequip things before characters leave. Not too often. There's small exceptions in that one. Sometimes you do it, but you don't have to. So we got this hovercraft, and we're gonna go find something to hopefully cure Rosa at the same time. We do formation changes often in this game. There's many different patterns and routes in which you could do it, but there are some that are pretty darn optimal. And I had to go into my menu to do the duplication anyway for the change rod. So it's like you might as well get your optimizations out of the way. So I went ahead and did my formation change. Having Edward in the middle has him act first. And we want that because he's actually strong at the start. And then, well, actually, he's not going to act first in this fight, but he'll act first in later fights, which is very important, and I'll explain why then. Because, well, long story short, you could possibly die. And I went ahead and picked up the life chest there, because as I talked about earlier, back attack and surprise attacks, they do hurt you early in the game. If I were to get a back attack here, they could still kill Rydia, even with the tiara on. Because if it's a back attack, she'll actually be in the front row, taking more damage. So this boss sprite is pretty cool. Wonky-eyed antlion. That's my impression of Ant Lion. And so it's pretty cool. I mean, he's got 1,000 health, but you're just hucking daggers at him. If you're lucky, you can get a 3 dagger, which is pretty common. I wouldn't say super common, but it's ideal. And unfortunately, even with a 400 damage one, I wasn't able to get a 3 dagger kill. I was able to get I had to do 4 daggers. Just slightly more time, no big deal. And as you can tell, everyone just gains a bunch of levels at the boss fights because we're not doing any random encounters. And we got the Sand Ruby. And another fun fact, how does the Sand Ruby cure Rosa? What does the ruby do?
Magic.
That's what it does? You give it to her and it goes like this? Does she eat it? Does she like hit it on the wall? Okay, you just. Yeah. It is a ruby made of sand, so maybe it does. I don't know. But we'll find out. Usually the graphics are pretty good, and you can see it pretty clear. We got another. So there's a great example of a back attack to where Rydia got bopped. It does not matter at this point. As far as execution goes, because we're going to go get a full heal shortly after getting Rosa, so it doesn't matter. But if that happened on the way to Ant Lion, like I said, it would be a run killer if you didn't get the life chest, or if it's after the life chest and you want a really good time, then you'd probably reset. Just because going into the menu and doing it again, giving her a life just to revive her is seconds wasted that you don't need to waste, because it can happen. In an average run, she survives for sure. You already have had like an unlucky number of back attacks. You've had 3 already, and you know it just varies. There's times where any given runner can have 100 of them in a run, and not literally, but they can just have a dozen of them, and that is just awful. In any percent run, but a good number, a healthy number. See, I got the life, so I didn't want to select that. But a healthy number is, 5 or 6 for any percent run is pretty solid. That's pretty average, I think. If you get anything less than that, you're good. Back attacks are also, let's just say they're frame based. There's a lot more to it though. There's ways to manipulate it, and a guy I mentioned a few times already, myself 086, is currently working on a way to make it more beneficial, but there's actually ways where you can change your character sprite, you can watch NPC movements, but a lot of the things affect the RNG when it comes to back attacks. The game actually goes through specific tests when getting into an encounter, and if a couple of those tests pass in the memory, then it becomes a back attack. It has to do with the levels of your party and the levels of the enemy. I don't know it in depth at all, so I don't want to say something that is incorrect, but that's about as far as I'll go. So I usually just say it's frame based. If you get it on a specific frame, you're going to get a back attack or a surprise attack. If not, it's going to be a regular one. Want to know another fun fact in Religion? That the Water Hag has more health than the final boss in the game. That should make this boss the most difficult. And
Anyways,
it's true, it is. Because you are fighting with a Spoony Bard. And it is possible to die to this cutscene. Cutscene boss here. But it's a storyline fight, so all it takes is 3 hits. But Edward in the middle row, or in the middle slot with the dancing dagger, has like 99% accuracy, so he can still miss, which it would also be a huge bummer. But before, if you did not do the miss clip and you go through the game with one of his spoony harps, you could miss for sure, and that has much lower accuracy, and you could die. And any runner would be lying if they say they hadn't died there, not necessarily in a run, but just in their playthroughs, in their casual playthroughs in life growing up. I know that I did because I stopped paying attention and I thought I was holding A, but I was like holding B, and I like was looking at my phone or something, and I totally died. I'm not ashamed. I sat there, I was like, why is it taking so long? I look up and I'm like, oh, I'm dead. So in the towns, do not increase your step counter. Certain buildings do. Obviously, the whole world map does. Where you can get encounters, you will. But there'll be an area, let's see, in Fabul, there's plenty of steps that do and do not increase your step counter. So you can avoid encounters, but we're not doing that one right now, unfortunately. But we've had an okay amount of encounters, like total encounters. It's not been awful. But we did a safety save there just because if everything goes well, there's nothing wrong with this fight. It's actually easily beatable with Edward and Rydia doing dancing daggers. And I'll use my first run buffer trick here. You basically, when you run from battles, you hold L and R, and during boss fights, you're not able to run from them, so it'll say you can't run. What that does, in essence, is just pauses the ATV. So, once your menu comes up and you run away, it'll say that you can't run. That's actually a huge bummer right here. But I have a life, but you don't want Edward and Rydia hit. I will have to do an extra menu because of that. You need Rydia to survive. But I'll do the can't run trick, and that'll pause the ATV and allow me to get an action in. Oops. We're going to use Cure 1 because we're cool like that. So that will allow me to actually get an action in and pause the enemy's ATB so that I can act before them and get the amount of attacks that I want in as often as possible. This is a cutscene fight with Yang. There's 3 imp captains. They have 37 health. You want your damage rolls to be good. Can be as in the task version they do it in 2 turns because there's a damage roll where 2 of them get hit for 37 and 1 for 35, something like that. Never seen that before, not in the tasks. And this is a bummer because you want 3 turns is usually optimal, and I got that in 4 turns. And yes, he could miss that attack and get a 5th turn, and that's the worst. So there's an example of the first camp run, and 800 damage is needed, so that was like 400. Thanks for nothing, Rosa. It's like 450, so I'm going to have to attack again just for safety anyway. That was pretty close. So if I don't do that much damage, then Mom's going to attack again. Luckily, I was good. As fast as the can't run buffer allowed me to actually avoid the second attack, and that's good because you don't want Rydia and Edward to get hit. So because Rydia and Edward gained all the proper levels, they survived that giant explosion, and I timed it so that Yang's kick goes off, and I'm able to get a couple attacks in here without getting hit, allowing everyone to survive pretty cleanly. That was pretty darn big damage, holy moly. It's okay. So, ideally, of course, you want your whole party to survive for the most part. This must be the 4th one. No, 6th one. But there's parts in the game where we will kill off characters in order to increase the experience of your other party members. And I'll go through that as we go through. So that was actually a really good fight. That's how you want it to go. After the explosion, only one bomb actually got to attack. And that's what you want. But you have to kind of practice the turn orders and timing and things like that. It's definitely a tricky one to learn if you're new to the game. But with practice, you get it down. This walk is kind of lame because it's kind of long, and if you're not on a step route, you never know what you can get. But when Edward has low health, when he's in his weakened state, he has this awesome ability. It's like the best ability. It's called Hide. And if you have a back attack or in a boss battle, or actually in any battle, he'll be in a weakened state and he'll hide. So he'll just peace out. So you don't want that because it's a time waster. I'm nervous because if it happens, he sits there and he hides, and then everybody gets an attack in. So it's like an additional attack, pretty much. I'm actually also going to save here, too. So as you can tell, this walk, we've gotten like, I don't know, 5 or 6 encounters so far. There's certain seeds that actually can have you have 1 encounter on this walk. There's a few good seeds that will... Obviously, that walk I had 5 or 6 encounters. If I had 1, 2, or 3, I'd be saving a lot more time by eliminating a few encounters. So we save there because there's a chance that we could die if we get unlucky with the guards attacking Edward. If the guards attack Edward early on in the sequence of battles, he dies, and then my damage dealer is gone. And we're going to do a can't run buffer in all the fights in order to have Edward get his attack in early, so that way if he does get bopped, at least I can try and survive. And again, it doesn't matter. I mean, if he's going to get hit, we'd rather have him die, because he just hides slower. Wow. So I did the can't run, and then I screwed up all the other inputs. So now both guards get to attack, and one hit Edward, of course. So ideally what would have happened was that I would have... Okay, I gotta start doing my inventory, sorry. Ideally what would have happened is that I would have gotten that dagger off quicker. It's just a series of like 10, 11 inputs in like a second, so it's really fast. I don't know why I screwed it up. That one was fine. As long as the Weeper doesn't attack, we're good. This ATB is slightly different than the other ones, so you have to react a little slower. That makes sense. For some reason, in the ATB and the guard fights, you're able to do a can't run pretty quickly, and that one's a slight delay on Edward getting his turn. Now that Yang's gained some levels, he's going to attack first, so there's a chance that we could kill these guys pretty fast. So it's better. So now a guard doesn't get to attack. Yang attacks first. And Yang can do enough damage to actually kill this guy in one hit. And of course he's way off. And no one did, so I'm gonna can't run again so he doesn't attack. I was a little behind. So, like I said, I'm doing inventory movement during actions. My inventory is not very hot right now. I'm gonna get that fixed up, hopefully in this next one. But back before the Dancing Dagger strat was found, this sequence of events was hard. And even with the Dancing Dagger strats, people were dying frequently, because both guards were getting to attack. Bless you, bless you, bless you. I can't not say bless you when it's like Easter. I think people will be pissed. And then, I forget what I was saying. kind of talking too much anyway. Spoony Bard trying to get us killed. Success! So, change rod. Okay, so my inventory is not ideal, but I'll have plenty of time to move it around during the next few bosses. Actually, just the next one, because we're going to try and do a cool tech for you guys during the Mylon Z fight. If you have not seen it before, I will attempt the trash can glitch, or the mimic glitch. So what we're going to do in this is just a story scripted fight. You can actually speed it up if he doesn't do a lot of damage. Oh, nice. Wow, let's kill myself. If I'm not in a weakened state after Kane's first jump, then there's more dialogue, and it does waste like 15 to 20 seconds. It's a huge bummer. So what you do is you can actually attack yourself to put yourself in a weakened state, and was a perfect example. So that way he initiates his got you and jumps and you're done. And that moves it on a little bit faster. Not much to say in here besides the example of the step route that I would be doing. Walking on, I'm gonna walk optimally I think. Walking on the red carpet in the castle actually does not increase your step counter, and walking in all other areas mostly increase your step counter. So I want to take as least amount of steps as possible. In theory, is the right thing to do, but not knowing your encounter seed doesn't really matter. Because in essence, you could be increasing it, blah, blah, blah. So we made it through. And upcoming cutscene. So we're going to walk on this carpet, but usually we walk around it. The stairs don't increase your step counter as well, which is weird. Just a programming thing. So we're going to also walk on the stairs. And also walking up against those counters do not as well. So I could walk there 100 times. If those tiles were on the world map, walking up against the counter would not get you an encounter. But walking anywhere else would. So what do I need to do here? Nothing. This in the No 64 route, you would get the tiara off of Rydia, but we're not going to need it because we're not going to get Rydia again. We are going to get her in our menu after the Golbez fight, but we're not actually going to use her. So I don't need the tiara. Cecil's in the correct slot. I don't need to do any duping, so it's good. It's just there's so many things in this game to talk about. There's so many things that have changed in this run since it started. There was a lot of things found by a lot of different people in the community, and that's one thing I like about this game is there's a giant community that's very accepting of anyone who wants help or advice to get started on this game. So if you are interested in this game, please let me know and let our community know. I can direct you in the right place. There's so many resources and so many great runners. Right now, there's a lot of runners that are running that haven't been running before. It's kind of a new wave of people. And I know that after AGDQ, there were a lot of people contacting me kind of how to get started. How can I get started running this game? I will say it's very easy to get into and hard to get out of. It's a really easy game to learn. It's a very tough game to master, because of all the techniques and all the small techs and things like that that make the game very difficult. But if you want a very optimal time and competing for world records, there's all these small things that you kind of have to do in order to get a great time. But if you're looking just to pick up a speed run and get a decent time, this is a great game to do so with a great community. So please let me know. I'll let anyone in the community know if you are interested in picking up this run. We're going to be doing a glitch called the Mimic Glitch. And the Mimic Glitch was thought to have only been in the TAS version and the Japanese version of this game. It abuses the twin cast from both of the twins that you're going to get. We're going to get Palom and Porum in order to throw an item at a boss or at anything. And by doing so, the items that you throw can actually act as certain spells. So, for example, I believe we throw carrots and trash cans. Those are the two common items that are very powerful and easy to get and in your menu. Trash cans are already in my menu. It's where the item that you use to throw away junk that you don't need. And we're actually going to throw that slot. And I believe that acts as the Holy Spell or Fire 3, one of those ones. Carrot and trash can is both of those. So we're going to throw it and it's going to act as that spell. It's not going to actually physically act that spell out, but it's going to work that way.
Hey, do we have time for a quick donation?
Absolutely.
We have a $5 donation from level 99 Tonberry. He says, "What's up, No Cash, No Cash? Glad to catch a run live. Watched a couple of your runs and just recently started speedrunning myself. Recently finished a FF4 PC run. Anyways, good luck on the Die Hard percent, and keep up the good work."
Hey, thanks, man. That was really cool. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching my runs and tuning into the stream and donating for a great cause. Yeah, it's great. I'm glad you finished a PC playthrough. There are a few people that have done that in the past. Definitely recommend if you're into the game. Any of the versions are great. Besides Game Boy Advance, I think everybody knows that. Just kidding. It's a good one too. Most runners hate it because there's nothing. I mean, it's kind of silly. And the PC version is really cool. Mistaken and Webster had done that run for a while. It's much faster than the DS version. Most people know it as the 3D version of this game. It's a little bit longer, not a lot of glitches, any. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'm glad you got into speedrunning. So, one of the things here is what we did is, as you can tell, it's like, why did we buy so much stuff there? We bought a bunch of stuff because our inventory requires weird items in order for us to warp into certain areas. So, yes, I bought 5 stacks of 13 Tier 2s. I'm going to have to make sure I don't use those items, but if we have those in certain slots, the game will read them and we'll be able to warp to certain rooms if we want to later in the game, which I'll try to explain when we get there. But for now, I stack my inventory with a ton of stuff, and I'm going to organize it as much as I can during the run, so that at the end of the run, I don't have to do any inventory management. Any inventory management done out of the battles is a huge waste of time, so we try to do that in battle. So you'll see that when I get into the next battle, I'm going to have so much stuff on the top of my inventory, and having a messy inventory is a huge no-no for top speedrunners, because if things are messy and you don't know where they are consistently, then you're going to go fishing for it and go all the way down in your inventory and just wasting more time to do so. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put most of the weapons and items, weapons and armor and things like that I can't use in battle in certain slots, and kind of base the rest of my inventory around that. I'm going to do as much movement as possible during the Mylon fight, because in the Mylon Z fight, I'm going to be doing that glitch, and I won't be able to do anything then. So back to the Mimic glitch. I want to give a shout out to Nirm. He's a top FF4 runner and contributor. He actually figured out a way that we thought it was originally said earlier, in TAS only and Japanese only, to bring it to the States, and to cool tech that saves tons of time. You can actually, the most common strat for top runners is to use the carrot on the Mylon fight. They kind of spiffed it up a little bit recently, the Roth and Nurem, to make it so that the carrot actually does save a little bit of time. Before, it was really risky because you had to have 2 spells that didn't fail and execution heavy, and it still only saved like 20 seconds. But they made it's a little bit safer now. I don't know that one quite yet, so I'm going to just do the normal strat since it doesn't save that much time. In the Mylon Z fight, it can actually save a ton of time. Like, I'm talking at least a minute if everything goes well. So that's the one we're going to use it in to try and save some time. If it goes poorly, I could die pretty quickly. So we will be doing a safety save. I'll probably just do a safety save before Mylon and not before Mylon Z. If I have to bail on the glitch attempt, I will, because it is risky and you could die. But if I can get it, great. I'd like to try and get it in the run. That'd be nice. You activate the twin spell with the twins, and then you kill one of them right after it's selected. That way, one of the twins that's alive is trying to mimic somebody, but the other twin died. So, in essence, it's going to be targeting the thing that Tella attacks and mimicking the action of Cecil. And we're going to go into our menu and swap the trash can with the item that you can use. And that's going to actually throw it at the boss, which is the layman's term, layman's explanation. Alright, so we're going to do some equipping here. And we're going to try and do as much plinking as possible to just increase the time. Increase the speed. Oops. Cool. Oh, I wanted to save too. Everyone's in the right spot. No one's damaged, so we don't need to do any healing. We're just buffing everybody's strength, magic, and defense as we start getting into harder bosses with low levels. I'm just trying to do this optimally as fast as possible. So I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down and select the stack of 43 Q2s and use that. I'm going to swap it to make sure that I'm using the right one. Nice. Still got the one. I didn't select the right one, so it selected a random one. And hopefully I was still fast enough to kill all these zombies before the twin cast. Cool. If you go slow on accident, you actually cure Mylon after the twin. That's a bummer. Use on this turn. Thank you, and no thank you. That's it. Comet is not good. It's kind of awful at everything. So I was doing some movement while that was going on, lightning cast was going on, so I can keep organizing my inventory. Don't want to hit the twins, but I had a low damage Comet earlier, so I will have to do a third twin cast, which is not optimal. And also, as you can tell, I don't want the twins to die. That's fine there. That's good. Ooh. My body. Another awesome line. So we're gonna keep Cecil at that health and not cure him. And we're gonna go for it. Trying to create a little space. Let's do this. Okay, I didn't need to do that. My bad. attack Cecil? Do I not want to attack Cecil? Okay, definitely don't want to attack him. Okay, so that was the goal right there. So I selected Twin, and I'm going to kill Form. So now... Okay, so we're in a decent shape. Ooh, that is not good. So we really want Cecil to get bopped right now. And then I think the Twin is going to die to poison. I hope not. Oh, dang! Oh, don't die! Don't die! Oh, yeah! We're good! That was actually pretty clutch. Thanks. That was pretty funny. That was pretty cool. Let's move the ears up a little bit. Might as well. That was pretty crazy. So what happened there was... Cecil got hit for 120. That was pretty tight. And then a lot of cool things happened there. So that was risky because, one, the Twin got poisoned and had 22 health left. So the goal there is once Cecil dies, then the Twin will mimic that action. And so Cecil got bopped, and that was cool. And so the Twin was going to act, but then got damaged by poison. So if the Twin had died from the poison, then the execution was successful and Cecil dying, because that's random. But then it was a bummer because the Twin would have died, and then it would have been Tella sitting there all by himself with a dead Cecil and a dead two dead twins. So like it would have just been, I probably would have had a reset, which would have sucked. So that was pretty much best case scenario. He killed Cecil on the second possible hit to be optimized. So that was pretty sweet. All right, so what we're gonna do here. Okay, so we're gonna do the can't run here, and usually this one you sit for the dialogue, but instead we're gonna use the can't run buffer and use the dancing dagger to kill the Dark Knight. Actually, it has 1,000 health. In fact. Oops, that's not ideal. But you want to kill him before the dialogue, and I got him in 3 daggers. And actually, so the goal there was for me to equip Cecil with the Paladin shield. And kill him with the dancing dagger, so that way I don't need the paladin shields anymore, and I can move them all down. So that worked out pretty good. My inventory is still not ideal. I have to go do a bunch of shopping, and I'm gonna have to do some fishing during my next inventory equipping. So it's gonna be a bummer.
Hey, do you mind if we plug the charity real quick?
What's that?
Do you mind if we plug the charity real quick?
Oh, go for it. Do your thing.
I would just like to welcome everyone to Californithon. We are a group of speedrunners from the Golden State of California with a sprinkle of some runners from out of state. We're raising money for Charity Water, which is an organization that provides clean and safe drinking water to developing nations. Even if you can't donate or subscribe, there are other ways to help the marathon, such as tweeting the marathon out using #Californithon. You can also help by following and watching the marathon. Thank you very much.
Hope everyone's enjoying the run. Enjoying the marathon so far. It's pretty awesome. It's nice to be in California doing a marathon and meeting new people and putting together some awesome runs for a great cause. I encourage anyone out there who's interested in speedrunning or just finding out what speedrunning is. If you're into platformers, into RPGs, into PC games, whatever you're into, there's always someone trying to play it fast. If you're a competitive person and you like video games, speedrunning is definitely a cool thing to do. So props to everybody who is putting on Californithon over the weekend. And thank you to everybody who's been donating and or watching. It's much appreciated. So that was pretty cool. I'm actually pretty stoked that happened. That was pretty optimal and probably saved a good chunk of time. That fight would have been a little bit longer. So that was pretty clutch. So now we're doing something called the Chocobo. Actually, this actually matters, believe it or not. We're gonna get this Chocobo here, and we really want it to go a certain direction. Left is ideal, but even then, if the Chocobo goes on a certain frame, then we won't be able to execute the glitch well. We'll have to get another Chocobo. Oof. You know what? That one might be okay. Because it was right down the middle on the right side. I'm gonna go with that's okay. That would suck if it's not okay, though. Most of the runners have a picture letting us know where the Chocobo can go in order for you to successfully get through that room. That'd be a huge bummer if it wasn't a good one, though. I'm debating if I want to get another yellow Chocobo or not. And if anyone's watching and they know if it was a good or bad Chocobo, tweet at me or something. Any other Final Fantasy IV runners out there? I don't have the picture with me, but basically, if the Chocobo went on the exact x-axis, I'm sorry, y-axis, y-axis up and down, and left and right, as my sprite on the right side, it's usually good. So I think I'm okay. The last yellow Chocobo that you ride has to make sure it's leaving on the correct part of the screen. So that, I think I'm okay. Anyway, so we're good. And what I'm talking about there is there's a lot of things actually that I'm doing in this run that's going to affect the last glitch, and that's the location I put my hovercraft, the battle speed settings, the red, yellow, green window colors, the direction in which the Chocobo goes. All those things actually matter to the glitch. We're going to be going through negative valued floor rooms, and there's certain, basically the room has to go through a test in order for us to be able to pass it. Some of them is based on your in-game timer, your money. It's a lot of crazy things. Luckily, we're going to be going through. We're going to eliminate a lot of that because we're going to be using an inventory glitch here. Okay, legend, find chance. Okay, that's not ideal. Oof. All my stuff's going to be down low. So I'll try and explain a lot of it as we get there. But what I'm doing right now is making sure Tella gets that single change rod. I know we had a lot before. We have a lot of change rods, but I'm gonna have to sell them I have to sell them optimally here, so I don't want to use one from that stack. So I'm treating that one change rod as if I only had one. So I had to swap it from one of the twins to Tella. So I'm gonna have to buy 58 ice claws and 68 thunder rods. I can't mess that up. If I buy like a thunder rod or something, I'm sorry, like a thunder claw, it screws everything up. It has to be very specific items with specific values. So we're gonna do some shopping here. My inventory is definitely not ideal. Hopefully during Baigen and definitely during Kanazo, I should have some time to make that nice and pretty. I'll Also, my Cure 2s are on top, so I think my Baron key is going to be on the right slot. And it is. Alright, so these headbands and karates are I'm going to need to use later, but they're going to be down low, so that kind of sucks. Alright, so we're actually going to go 58 Ice Claws, Thunder Cell, 71, 2. Alright. So I know that's kind of wacky, but that was a pretty good one. I think I'm good to go. Alright. And we're off. So this is the waterway to Baron Castle. This area has a few bad encounters that are big time wasters. Now that I've said it, I'm sure I'm going to get a few of them. But there are a couple encounters that are bummers. Anything that has the crocodiles or alligators in them, they can attack twice because their speed is high. Sometimes even if it's just a regular encounter, they can attack. Also, there's a couple electric fish and aqua worm that can cast wave on you. Oh, it is right there. And that aqua worm casts wave, and it's just a time waster. Yeah. So in Seed 43, the best seed in the game for encounters, this walk is awesome. You only have 2 encounters the entire walk. It's a very large walk, so to get only a few encounters is awesome. If you're gonna get a back attack, this is okay. I guess the guard attacks twice because it was speed, his agility, it's pretty high. That's never good to have one. And they killed one of the twins. You want the twins dead, so it's like whatevs. Alright, so you'll see what I mean with my inventory here. What I'm going to do right now actually is a MP underflow glitch, which I'll explain in a second after I do my inventory. As you can tell, my headband's up there, my karate's down low, which is not ideal, and my ice claws as well. And then I'm also going to do some formation changes. You don't necessarily have to do them there, but that's what I like to do because it sets me up for the rest of the game. Some people stick with the formation that was present, but I know the turn order on this one, so it's easier for me. I did an underflow glitch by selecting a spell that I am not able to cast and selecting a spell that I can cast and moving over to the spell that I cannot cast and hitting A in the same frame. So I'm casting a spell that I do not have enough MP for and using it, and that gives Tella his underflowed magic. Which allows him to cast Media. And these are high damage attacks, dude. I'm actually going to do that. Because I don't want Tella to die. I don't want the twins alive here because I don't need them at all. Ice claws up here. And that's what we do there. So move the ice claws up. That's good. I just don't want the twins alive because I want my other characters to get the experience. The twins are, I mean, spoiler alert, I'm sorry, they like basically die. And they don't. But they're no longer with the party after this. And we don't need them. We really want them to die because we want Kane to gain as much levels as possible. And what that means is that Kane has been in our party once, but when he comes back in the party, we want him to be at a higher level. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is attack this thing. And Kenazo has 4,000 health, so I did about 200 damage there. And Tella's got a very high-powered weapon here that's usually not in. Let's do this with, just in case. Okay, cool. So that's actually really good. Killing one hit there. Slowly 3 slots down. Oops, didn't know if we moved down. So that was ideal. You just attack with Cecil and Yang to get some damage in. The the change rod that Tella has on can do anywhere from 3,300 damage to like 5,200 damage, and Kenazo has 4,000 damage, so health. So he did 4,700, which is fantastic. So it's a little overkill, but there's times where he can do less damage, so you want to do as much damage as possible. But yeah, that allowed me to use Cecil's turn to do some inventory management, and it looks like I'm close to having everything in the right spots as far as the 4 main items. I'll try and do that during Dark Elf or later, and then I'll only have to move the 5 Cure 2 items, which I will try to do during the Golbez cutscene at the end. But yeah, it's strange to believe that we're already much past the halfway point of this run. But that's what this run does. You think, how's he going to beat this game in less than an hour? It's because once we get through the next few bosses, I guess 3 sets, 4 if we count Magus Sisters, we're going to go get the Dark Elf, then Magus Sisters, Dolls, Golbez, Novelist. Once we kill all those dudes and dudettes, we're going to start the glitch. And yeah, we'll beat the game. We're going to do something a little safe in this run, obviously, since it's a marathon. We don't want to do anything too crazy or risky. But because we're manipulating the memory of the game can crash anytime during the glitch. Not anytime, during a specific time. And each negative valued room has rules to get through it. So like, I think -9 is our new glitch room. So when you go into the negative value rooms, you just count as you walk through them. -1, -2, -3, all the way to -9. That's based off of the last Black Chocobo's map ID location. So we're going to put the last Black Chocobo that we ride in a specific location, and that's going to get us to a glitch room combined with other settings in our game. So then we're going to be able to, that specific room actually has tile warps on them. They're technically cutscene triggers, but going on those specific tiles will read the data in our item inventory and then warp us to a specific place that we want to go. And while doing that, we're actually going to exit out of it and advance to a safe room, because once you get through -46, that negative room -46, which you'll see, is actually based on our in-game timer. What that means is when I go into the menu here, which I won't do after this cutscene because actually you'll soft lock, you'll see the little timer in the bottom right-hand corner, and it's based off the seconds. Every minute that you're in, depending on which minute you're in, has a different chance of getting through that room. So minute 1 hour and 52 minutes, that minute may have better odds of getting through than 1 hour and 53 minutes. So the first few seconds in an hour and 53 may actually crash your game. So if you were just 10 seconds faster, you may have gotten through, or even 1 second faster, and not crash the game. And so we're gonna go through that room because we have to go through that room in order to get a spell that we need for the end game. Oh, did I have it right? I moved off of it.
Do we have a minute to read a donation?
Absolutely.
We have a $3.69 donation from Level 99 Tonberry. He says, "Come on, drop some cash and donate, everyone."
Yeah, I agree. It's a great cause. Thanks again, Level 99 Tonberry. Hope to see you in other streams soon. And thanks for everyone for watching as usual. But yeah, so I know it's a lot of crazy stuff to think about. It's a lot of crazy explanations, and I know I kind of ramble on it a lot. I don't want it to turn anyone away from possibly running the game. So there's a lot of other things that you can do in this game to avoid all that jargon until you understand it a little bit better. But it actually is pretty easy once you get the hang of it. So what I did there was that Tella cannot use his spells in the menu when his MP is underflowed. So as you know, we underflowed his MP so that we could cast Meteor earlier. So we weren't able to use his spells to cast Exit. And we're also going to be using his spells a little bit later, so we give him an Ether, and now his MP is back to normal. And in here, we want to catch a black chocobo. You don't want to run behind it, and for that exact reason is ideal. Don't run directly behind any of the chocobos because they move at the same speed of your character sprite, so you can't chase after it and catch it. You need to anticipate its movements and kind of meet it at the same square. So I always walk alongside of it and hope that it cuts in front of me, and it did. I saved there. You don't really have to save there. You're not really gonna die, really. But this cave, in the storyline, anyone who's equipped with metal cannot move. So if Tella, Cecil, and Yang all have. That was a bummer. I don't want to do this, but I will. Sid is the only one who doesn't have metal. So for some reason, Sid dies, like a back attack. That one got a lot of damage. Then you actually will die. So it rarely happens, but it definitely can. And that's the risky part. Is everyone has metal except for Sid. So if I was not running, Sid would be the only person that could act because everybody has metal and can't move. But we're running because we want to run, and plus we're getting tons of surprise attacks. So that's a huge bummer. So we're going to walk through the whole cave, making sure that Sid stays alive. The menu was definitely wasted time healing Sid, but as you can tell, I also got another surprise attack. So I guess it was a good idea just in case he got bobbed. I mean, he has like nothing equipped, so his defense is awful. There's a few bad encounters here. Yeah, I could have been game over, so I'm glad I did. There's a few bad encounters in here. The first one, which can waste a lot of time, is the mages. I actually got it on my first encounter, and there it is right there. If that was a surprise attack or a back attack, they do a spell called Blaster, and that basically allows your characters to not be able to act or move. And so Sid is the only one who can move. If he got blasted, then the whole party can't run away, and you have to sit there for about 30 seconds until Sid is able to move again. So you don't want to see them. When you see the mages, you're definitely scared. You don't want to. Your heart skips a beat for a second if it's like a surprise attack or a back attack. The next one is bats. You're going to see bats. Actually, in this one, only in this cave. So we didn't get any bats, which is nice. Dang. Yeah, see, my inventory is not so good. So I had to go down further. But the bats waste time because they cast a spell called Vampire. And that literally just takes time to cast because they all cast that spell. And if you get into a fight with 6 of them, it wastes like 30 seconds, 40 seconds by itself. And that walk was a huge bummer because I got like 3 or 4 or 5, I don't remember how many surprise attack, back attacks I got. So that walk was not good and not lucky. And what I did in that menu was I actually equipped Sid with metal because that expedites that first fight. That's a storyline fight as well, a scripted fight as well. And this fight is meant to kill you. The Dark Elf will cast a bunch of spells on you, like Fire 2, Ice 2, and Lightning 2, and it'll kill you. But you can avoid all that if you enter the battle not being able to move. So we did that, and at the same time increase Sid's strength. Now I'm stronger. And I'm about to get into this fight. Thank you, Edward. So we're going to hold A from Sid to Yang. I'm sorry, from Cecil to Yang to Sid. And now Dark Elf's attacks do like no damage. And then we're going to kill off Sid because we don't need Sid to gain any levels. Because we don't care. Well, crit. So he's going to... Dark Elf is most likely going to turn early. He turns into that big old dragon thing. You're fast enough, you can avoid... Now it's way early. So Yang and Cecil are both going to attack. If you're slow enough, you can cast Whisper, and that turns a character into a piggy. And if it's Tella, then he can't act. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wait for him to cast his next spell, because we want another character dead. And what we did there is this Dark Elf, the dragon form of Dark Elf is weak to wind. So we use the weak spell, thus getting him down to like, 1, 2 single digit HP. And then I had Yang attack him and kill him. I didn't want Cecil to die necessarily. Yang would have been the best. But I wanted someone else dead there for HP reasons. Alright, so we're actually going to bring him back to life. We did menuing and curing him here because we do need him to have full health later. Another reason why you want someone like Yang dead, because you don't need to do that. We're going to cast Exit here, and we're going to do some more chocobo wrangling. So it's going to be weird. We are going to park this black chocobo in a weird spot. And that's for the glitch later on. I got lucky with the location of those chocobos. They were relatively close. And that's where I needed to park it. It's perfect. It's a weird location, but that's actually very important. I could have placed it 5 spots further up so that I could take like 5 less steps later, but that's not beneficial because I can get encounters here and I can't get encounters in the other area that I'll be taking those 5 steps. It's quicker to cast Exit there, and I got a safety save here because I'm going to be doing something risky during the next fight. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go get a fire sword by fighting the flame dog, a chest monster, and because Golbez is weak to fire, and we're gonna equip it on Cain later and duplicate it. It makes it easier, quicker to kill Golbez. You lose the 30 to 45 seconds in getting it now. But you save it, in theory, in a little bit in Valvolus and possibly the dolls, but you save all of it and more in Golbez. And so a lot of strats, there's a lot of different experience strategies that you can use. You can kill characters in different areas, you can kill in different boss battles, that is. But I like this. This was the first one that was out there, and it's just easier to memorize. I'm gonna want Yang dead during the Flame Dog fight. So the more hits he takes, the better. If I'm getting a back attack or surprise attack. And I do need Cecil at full health because he is going to be protecting Tella. So because of that, I do have to do another menu, which is a bummer. But Yang could possibly die to the first flame. I forget, 25%? Yeah, he's dead. Shoot. A little slow, I'm a little scared. I don't think he'll one-time Tella. Yeah. I'm fine. If he would have hit Tella there, he could have died. But that's overkill. I wanted Cecil to stay alive there, but I was a little slow. I don't think he got the extra attack off, but that's okay. We're going to do another MP underflow glitch here. And we're going to cure Cecil back to full health. And now our experience route is complete. So we're good. Cain is going to be entering our party at level 19, and that's great because he gains another attack multiplier and he'll do a lot more damage on the next 3 boss battles when I get him. And that was the whole goal of killing those characters. You do it as fast as you can, you don't waste any time, and that means you're able to kill Valvolus much faster. This next fight is an easy one because you're able to kill the Magus Sisters with one shot. I'm being extra safe there. Just this is the last enemy walk in the whole game. And if you die, and I've been getting a lot of back attack bad luck, it's just a bummer to start back from the beginning, below the airship. It's just not fun. So the way the run's been going, I just gotta, as far as the back attacks go, I wanted to heal up. So I'm good. I really want to do some inventory movement here, but inventory sucks. What I'm gonna do, I have to duplicate the fire sword here. So that was fast, that was good. So I don't want Tella to get hit with the first spell. Tella getting hit with the first spell means I have to cure him, because he could die from the next one. That wastes some time for me to be doing some menus, so it looks like I won't be able to do any menuing here. Hopefully I can time the Valvolus one correctly, because now after this attack, media is going to go off and I have to duplicate the fire sword. So he would have died if I didn't heal him. Wait, that was the 4th slot. Did I move him down to the 5th slot? Shoot, I didn't get the right spots. I'll double check in the menu. This is a strike first. It's just one tile to the next area. They got an encounter on it. Those are the kind of things the step route avoids. You take an extra step in another area, and then you won't get that encounter. Alright. So this is going to be a little cutscene here. Just a quick shout out to my sponsor. I haven't shouted them out ever, so I wanted to. CPR Esports Gaming, they're a SoCal group as well. That help local speedrunners and local gamers, creating a great community. So thanks to Daniel and those great guys over there, or David, excuse me, and all those great guys over there. Just double checking my inventory. So Tella is maxed out on 3 meteos. He's casted 2 already, but that third one sacrifices his life. Believe it or not, I mean, this is almost it. Gosh, Fabulous on a slow marathon run is probably sub 150. I'm hoping. No. Sub 140 would be great. Yeah, Fabulous is usually in the 137s. The 137 Fabulous is great. I'm assuming with my run so far, it's probably going to end in the low 140s. If I finish Valvolus at sub 140, it'd be amazing. I don't think I will. And then that means we'll only have 20 to 30 minutes after Valvolus. Everything goes well, we can have a low 2-hour time as far as 2:05, something like that. That would be a great marathon time. I totally think I had the Thunder Rod and the Paladin Armor in the correct spots. And I moved them out of the right spots, but I'll just move them back really quick. Because they're in the 4th slot each. Make sure the change rod's in the 6th slot. I have to go in to heal up Yang and Sid, who are dead. Anyway, so I'll just check while I'm in there. Make sure that I dupe the fire sword. And my inventory's so wacky. The new any percent with the credit warp, and this one is very item inventory heavy. If you can execute well on that, you can definitely put up a good time. I will say that mine isn't bad, but it's not good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Alright, so there, we're gonna do that fire sword. So now he can get one. And we're gonna give him headband and karate to give him another multiplier. King's at level 19, everything's duped. And we're good to go. So we equipped Kane with the fire sword, and he's a higher level. Now this fight is very execution heavy, so I'm gonna focus on this one. So what we're doing, we're healing Cecil just in case he gets weak, and of course he does, because he's going to actually protect everybody that's weak. So we're gonna heal him up right now because that's the way to go. So he blocked there. Now he's weak again, which is a huge bummer. And by doing this pattern, if you are good on your execution, then you should time Kane's jump to where, dang, this is interesting, to where Kane can jump and get her out of the tornado with perfect timing. I mean, so far the execution is great, but right when he comes down on Balboas, she's going to attack, and if it hits Cecil or anyone dies, oof, I can't believe he survives. You could be okay now. Ugh. Okay, we might have to YOLO in here to survive. Okay. Oh, shnikes. So that was bad, but we're gonna just save marathon strats here and make sure that Cecil, if Cecil has enough health, then no matter what happens, he'll be okay. Because now he can block for everybody that's weakened. If he would have gotten weakened there, that would have sucked. And we didn't get the quick kill, but hopefully this kill does it and I can do some... Yes. Let's do that. Just change ours and let's survive. Okay, just go down. Broad space. I got some Cure 2s in the right spots too already. Sweet. So it didn't go perfectly, but I knew when she was going to die, and that's okay. Yang died, and that would have given me an extra attack. So only one more attack killed her. So it wasn't a bad fight. Just Cecil being weakened was a bummer. But knowing the strats and knowing how to react is... you'll be fine. Just keep Cecil alive and keep him fully healed at all times, and you're fine. It's a very execution-heavy fight for it to go perfectly. And I did everything correctly, but with some bad luck and Cecil getting weakened, anything can happen. Okay, so the next part, I'm really hoping my Chocobo was good. Otherwise, I could be screwed. I'm psyching myself out. If the Chocobo goes perfect on the left side, it's not good. On the right side, it's good. So we're throwing a key down a well, and that causes a crater to explode, and then it gives us the entrance to the underworld. That's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna start counting, and you have to be able to count to 63. If you want to do this category. If you can't count that high, you can't do this category. top of gear 2, and I think the third slot in gear 2, I think we're good after that. So it looks like in the end my execution was good, but my equipping execution was not good. Alright, so here all we're doing is a formation change so that Cecil can attack stronger later. Now, actually, we're going to start the 64 floor glitch, and I'll try to explain it after we're done because now I don't have time to explain. This is room 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. We done did it. So what happens is when you're going into these, into castles, or you're going into, I think dungeons too. Basically when you're entering and exiting and transitioning rooms, you have a room counter. The game can only carry 64 spots of memory when it comes to the rooms. So what you do is you're in here, you can go and increase the room counter to 63 is what we did. It's called a 64 floor glitch because we're in room 63 right now, and once you go into this room, this is room 64 or 0, because once you get, it starts from 0. So once you get to 63, it rolls over to 0 instead of 64. What happens is when you leave a room that only has one exit, it actually counts as a negative value. So if you were here on room 5 and you walked out of it, you'd be on room 4. But if you're on room 0 and you leave it, you're on room -1. And when you're on -1, the game is like, yo, what is up? Thanks, Cecil. You did it, was so epic. Hopefully Kane's a baller. He is. So you can redeem yourself, Cecil. So the back dolls have 1,000 and the front dolls have 300. And now he has enough, of course. attack the bottom one. Nice. Clutch. So the goal of that fight is to to kill the last 2 dolls at the same time. If you do not kill the last 2 dolls in the same turn, then they'll turn into a giant doll, and that giant doll can kick your butt. And now we're going to do the last trick of the game. Actually, the last trick. We're gonna use a can't run buffer there to make sure that Cain gets in the air. We're gonna equip with the fire sword. Okay, so this one gets a cure 2 there. The paladin armor also gets a cure 2 right there. Okay, so cure 2, space, thunder rod. Space, cure 2. No matter what's there. Ice claw, space, cure 2. Paladin, space, change rod. Paladin, space, change rod, and we're good. So now my glitch is set up. I know it's all funky, but the glitch is now done accurately. Okay, so we want, 3,000 damage? That was good damage. Oh, wow, that was actually really good luck. So, ideally, Cecil is going to attack next. But we got that was the absolute best luck, which is why you get the fire sword, because Cain just did 2,200 damage. The Mist Dragon had a good damage roll and did 900, so you need 2,100 more, and Cain did it all on his own. He can do 1,500 damage, and then you gotta hope that Cecil attacks for 600. That's why he's in the front row, and that's why he gets the fire sword. Fortunately, Cain just did all the work. If he did not, Cecil would attack, and if he does not, even on top of that, get to 3,000 damage, then you get the Rydia dialogue, and then Rydia joins, and then Cain attacks. Well, actually, you can attack with Cain one more time before Rydia joins, but it's after the dialogue and takes forever. Alright, so we're in the home stretch. We're going to start doing some crazy item settings. We're going to use 6, 0, 3, 4, and then we're going to warp. So what we're going to do is now we're back in room 63, so we want to get back to room 0. And there's a glitch in this game right here. 6, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're going to go warp. And they actually didn't want you to do this, but we did. We grabbed the dark crystal instead of having to go actually get it. And we're going to go ahead and go into room -1. And the game freaks out. Now we're doing the 64 floor glitch. Sweet. Left. Up left. And we're gonna be here. So we're doing, we're using those specific spots on that room -9 to warp to a cutscene. And now what we do is we lose Cain out of your party. That's the reason for this cutscene, so that we can go get Fusoya. Okay, and we're gonna walk out of here. And actually we're gonna head back here, and we're gonna advance through the game to room -44. Okay, perfect. So we're just gonna go up and left and up. Ooh. Okay. Where do Scary. We're fine. That was, I think I had my rooms backwards for a second. I forgot I went back to 0 instead of -9. So, I mean, I'm fine, but that was a little funky. So now we're going to go back through the values, and we're going to go negative 21, minus 22, minus 23. Minus 44 is based off of your color settings, your battle speed settings, your color settings, and all that good stuff. So we did battle speed 6 and 034, and that will send us all the way here. Right here, which is Fusoya's room, which is like way later in the game. And so since we lost Kane, we have an available slot for a character. So what we're going to do here is, like I said earlier, room minus 46 is based on your in-game timer. Most runners would just exit here and then try to get to room minus 60 something to get a spell, and then possibly crash the game. Again, this is, obviously being a marathon setting, we want to make sure that we do this right, so we're not going to do that. We're not going to try to risk crashing the game. Fortunately, you'll get to see it happen, but I'm going to do it from a safe area. So if I do crash, it is what it is. I can just reset, but we're not going to do it from here. So we're going to do some rearranging here. Okay. A little slow, but that's fine. Alright, so let's see, it's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, it's 4, 1, 2, 3, 7, and then 2 more 6. Okay, and we're going to actually go ahead and exit. And this is going to bring us back to room 0. And we're going to go get a spell. We're actually going to go to room minus 44 again. We're going to go to a different minus 44. This is the extra marathon strat here, so usually people would just go straight to the last boss, but we're actually going to go a different way. That's the Chocobo room right there. Left. So that means my Chocobo went the correct direction, which was my suspicion. But we're going to go to a save room right here. We're going to save the game just in case the game continues to crash. We hope it gets through first try. I'm going to save it on the second slot and hope that... I should probably save it on the second and third slot, just in case the game crashes and erases my saves like it did before. That would be a huge bummer. But we're going to save in multiple slots to be safe. So we're going to go to the Chocobo room, what we call it, because it has a save spot in minus 44. This one? No, one more. So there we go. So it has a save spot. I can save. We're going to save again in multiple slots to be safe. And now instead we're going to go through room minus 45, 46, and we didn't crash yet, but let's see what happens after this warp. Hey, we made it. Sweet. So it didn't even crash. So what happens there is we landed in an area we couldn't advance, so we used a warp spell to continue to advance. And warp obviously brings you back to a room, but when you're in negative values, it'll advance you a room. Nice. So we call it bacon, because what happens is if you hard crash, then sometimes your cartridge or in the sound you can hear like a little sizzle. It sounds like bacon frying. So we avoided bacon even by using safe strats. And now we're here. And now we're getting this crazy spell called Upco. And it's like, what the heck is that? And because of my inventory, I'm able to do this and say, oh, well, I'm at the end of the game. That's it. That's Final Fantasy IV. So that actually was executed pretty darn well. Couldn't have asked for it to go any better. But I had pretty good luck when it comes to the glitch execution and me executing it. I had pretty bad luck when it came to encounters, but all my boss fights were pretty good. So I'm very, very happy with that run. As you see, because of character swapping and skipping a ton of stuff, we have Fusoya in the party. So if Fusoya's in our party, he can't be in these cutscenes. So you got Sid. And Sid casting spells is hilarious. Even Zemus thinks it's silly. Got his monocle out. So what we like to do in this, when we run 80%, is play the medio game. 1500? Dang, you're going low. So the goal in the medio game is we use the Price is Right rule. Sid is going to cast medio, and the goal is to guess the closest to it without going over, and he can do anywhere between 1500 and 2100 damage. And if the chat wants to play and see who wins, great. Take a guess. Foolagin said 1500. And if we're the only ones playing, then I will say 1501. 1501, Bob.
Zorlak's putting in 1700.
There you go.
Siki and I are putting in 1850.
Nice. Good guesses, you guys.
We all don't know what any numbers really mean.
You know what?
Yeah, I'm not very sure.
You know what? It's okay. Beginner's luck. It's all random. No, he can do any crazy number of damage, but as long as it's between 1500 and 2100, there's no strategy to it. It's just for fun. So you'll see Golbez cast Medio, and then you'll see Sid. So closest to it without going over. Here it is. 1768. Who did it? Did you guys go over? You say 1750, right?
I said 1700. That was Zorlak
You-
7. You know.
There's the winner in house right there. Congratulations, sir. You win a round of applause from Foolagin today, which is worth a lot more than I can give you.
And please forgive me, but I don't really know when time is called for this run.
Oh, don't even worry. I'll scream it.
All right, thanks.
You might wake everyone up downstairs.
No, I'm not going to scream. Oh, a whisper. Time. Just kidding. The time on this run will be when I cast that crazy Uptco spell and the boss dies in the most epic way possible. So you're thinking, wow, he's got all these low-level characters. How is he going to beat this boss? Well, I'll tell you. Well, I'll show you.
I'm still thinking about bacon.
Yeah, unfortunately, bacon in this game is not a good thing, even though generally bacon is a great thing. Cool. So, we have Fusoya in the middle there, so he can act first and cast his awesome spell. We gotta, once you start getting into the higher negative valued, lower negative valued rooms into the 60s, you start actually fishing through characters' magic. So we went through Fusoya's magic, and when I rearranged it, it went through his spells and corrupted one of his spells to be Uptco. And Uptco is actually a combination of spells, like the 37th spell, and the list of spells in the game is like, I think it's Corrupt, and then the next one is like Cold Mist or something. And it takes the last 3 letters of the first one and the next 2 letters of the next one, next spell, and then it combines them. So I believe maybe it's Disrupt, Corrupt. I don't remember exactly. Say what? Disrupt, yeah. So, those are some of the spells that will make that, and then by using it, it casts an awesome spell called Reaction, or it mimics the spell Reaction. You'll see what it does here. So I hope everybody enjoyed. That was Final Fantasy IV, executed pretty well. I am really stoked on that run, actually. I'm very happy for a marathon run. To pick up that type of run is phenomenal, so I'm stoked. There it is, up to go. So I'll tell you when time is coming up in about 5-10 seconds. And time.
So the final time is 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 2 seconds.
Wow, 2:05 and 2. Thank you. I will not perish as long as there is evil in the hearts of people. Puffers or Graham. That's it. Thank you guys for having me. I'll get to the thing where it plays out. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for supporting a great cause. Thanks for having me. Thanks for staying up late or waking up early wherever you are. Speedrunning is such a great thing. And for those who are just getting into it or have watched it and not gotten into it, I recommend you continue watching and supporting. It's continuing to grow in many different communities. So please continue to support speedrunning and also speedrunning for charity. Gamers do it for a great cause. So thank you again for having me personally. Thanks everyone for being here. Again, I'm nocashnocash. And you can follow me on Twitch or Twitter. And hopefully I'll be doing some more FF4 runs in the future. If not, you'll see me doing some cool RPGs. But that's it. I'll go ahead and get to the cutscene so it goes out, and I think we're going to be doing some setup. So back to you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, nocashnocash, with that incredible Final Fantasy IV run. Up next is Escapegoat 2, run by Woolagin. So we're just going to take some time to play some ads right now. And